Today I'll be making some gingerbread themed DIYs in an open playlist called All Things Gingerbread. This is being hosted by my friend Becky over at Simply Becky DIY. Links to her channel and this playlist are in the descriptions below. My name is Leah and this is Junkernecker DIY, where I share new budget decor videos every week. On my channel you'll see things like Pinterest projects, thrift flips, Dollar Tree DIYs, and trash to treasure crafting. I also occasionally share shopping hauls. If these things interest you, please subscribe. In the last couple of years, I've collected 9 different nutcrackers from Dollar Tree. Some of them only have slight differences though, so I'm going to change them up a little bit to make them look more unalike. For instance, this guy with the blue and red jacket has the same jacket and crown as the one behind him. The only slight differences here are what he's holding in his hand and his pants and boots. First I decided which of the two that I most liked and put them to the side, and I did have 3 pairs. And then I get them ready for some spray paint. I took off the cap and it made it easier to remove the hair. For the first nutcracker, I used the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch primer that has a hint of white color to it. Gave it a good spray all over and then brought it inside. Gathered up some brushes in different sizes and used the new Shamrock green color from Apple Barrel Paint. If you like traditional Christmas colors, you'll love this green. I painted his jacket, his boots, and his hat. And I did paint 2 coats on that. Next, I mixed up a custom gingerbread color with 1 part golden sunset and 2 parts nutmeg brown. The color that I was going for was somewhere in between this orangey gingerbread color and the dark brown gingerbread color. I went in everywhere that I didn't paint before with green color, but I left off the weapon because I have something else in mind. And I did 2 coats of that gingerbread color as well. Now, for the first time ever, I'm using puff paint. I didn't really know what to expect with this. I thought it would get really puffy like a marshmallow, but it's just lines. You're just drawing lines with it. This says fabric puffy paint. Did I get the wrong thing? Or, anyway, I just put some little details here and there with some squiggly lines and dots and stripes and such as that. Just dressing them up a little bit. Now I put 2 lines of squigglies on his shoulders and on the end of his shirt. I put 1 line of squiggly around the top of his hat. And then I went in with some little polka dots on the tippity top of the hat. And around his shoes. Next I'm going to get funky with some beads. Not these beads though, they were too big, too 3-dimensional. I'm going to go with the Dollar Tree flat gemstones that are already, they've got an adhesive already on the back of them, so you just pick them up, stick them down. Easy peasy. And I want him to be really colorful. Like gumdrops on a gingerbread house. I'm just sticking them wherever I thought they would look nice. On top of his shoulders, on the chest, on the hat. I'm putting the teeny tiniest ones in between where I had 2 lines of squiggly on top of each other. And now for the belt, I'm going to use some of this bling wrap that I got from Dollar Tree. But it's double. I only want the single layer, and I'm putting the green on him. Just wrapping it around and hot gluing it down. Then I added his hair and beard, took him to the barber shop, trimmed him up nice and neat. Pretty, pretty. And now instead of the gun, I'm going to put this candy cane on there. And it's a little too big around for his hand to fit in the hand. So I'm just going to prop it against the hand. Because from the front, you won't be able to tell it really that it's not in there. Just dab some hot glue in. Let me tell you, that hot glue got messed up with all of that fur laying around. So you'll notice here that he has a face, but it didn't turn out so well, and it actually made the blooper reel at the end if you want to stick around for that. The second one I sprayed with this Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch fast drying red. First I taped off his face and his legs and boots because I only wanted the red and white colors on there. I was just going to spray over his jacket and the hat, but that paint didn't do so well. So, plan B. I'm going to wrap him instead. I'm taking off all that tape, and I'm going to use some of this peppermint stripe paper from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to put that all the way around his jacket and his hat. Now, I removed the arms so it'd be easier for that. Some of these joints on the Nutcrackers come off easily. Other ones, you almost have to break them to get them off. But yeah, I'm just using the Gloss Mod Podge. Painted it all over the back of that paper. Stuck it on, making sure I had the seam in the back so it wouldn't show. And I've got just a little bit of extra on the top and bottom so I can fold that in. Now his jacket cinches in at the waist, so I knew it was going to have some wrinkling, but really at the end you don't even notice it. He looks so cute, it doesn't matter that he's got some wrinkles. I snipped some slits around the top and bottom and folded them in to get him all finished up. And then I did the same thing with his hat, but I brushed the Mod Podge on the hat instead of the paper. I would say brushing it on the paper worked out better for me. I put some little strips of the paper around the arms of his jacket or shirt, whatever that is. And then I had to poke some holes back into that paper with the sharp end of a skewer so I could get his arms back on. And then I popped on his head, his hat, which was in 2 pieces. And then put those arms back on. And that one was one that was hard to get off, and I put a dot of hot glue in there because it didn't want to go back on afterwards. This one, however, snapped right into place with no problem. So now for a little more dressing. I'll use those gemstones again, and I'm only using red. I'm just going to make him totally red and white as a peppermint nutcracker. Now glued on his hair and his beard. There was a little bit of red paint that seeped through the tape onto his teeth, and he looks quite rabid right now. But I'm going to fix that by gluing his goatee on top of his teeth, like so. And I trimmed up his beard and hair also, and then put his sword back in his hand, and this is how he looks. So cute. I love it. For the third and final nutcracker, I'm using Rust-Oleum paint plus primer in the color Prickly Pear. And I want to kind of capture the colors of this lollipop. So, I'm going to bring in some lime green and blue striped paper straws. I'm cutting them to the lengths that I want and then splitting them in half because I want them to wrap around his legs and his arms. So it took 2 pieces, one on the front, one on the back, to go around his legs, and I just hot glued them down into place. There was a teeny tiny little split that didn't get covered, and I made sure it was on the inside of the leg so it'd be much less noticeable. Doing the same thing with the straw. The cat almost sat on my hand. One of these days this cat's either going to get her tail cut or she's going to have her tail hot glued to the mat. I'm just waiting for it. And here I am doing the arms with the blue. And now I'm going to bling him up. I used the other piece of that gem wrap that I had used before on the first one. I'm putting the gold colored rhinestones around the crown of this guy. And then I'm going to use some of this, I think it's a fuchsia color. It's a really dark pink color, pinkish purple. I'm doing some bling wrap on his shoulders and wrists, 2 wide, and then 1 wide, 1 gem wide. I did it around the tops of its boots. I added a little bit more of the gemstones like I had used in the first 2 projects, and then I started adding the puffy paint. I gotta tell you, this one is my favorite. I love these bright colors so much. So pretty. This is kind of like a frosted gingerbread house. We'll call it frosted. Made some laces for his boots, and so on and so forth. And then here's how that one turned out. I didn't try to make a face on this one. I'm not sure. Does he look weird without a face? Should I try to draw a face on this one? Maybe? Anyway, let me know in the comments which one of these is your favorite. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up so that I know you did. And be sure to check out the All Things Gingerbread open playlist. This is the end of my video, but stay tuned for the blooper if you want to see that. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh my gosh. Oh no, it's going to do it again. No, get it. There we go. Oh.